Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to be talking about arrays and some of the cool methods you can use with arrays in Ruby. So to create an array, you can simply use the bracket notation, and then I'll return it, I'll convert it to a string, and here you'll see 1, 2, 3. So this is an array in Ruby. Another way to create an array is to use the array keyword, and then use new, and here we can specify how many elements we want. So we can say a new array with 5 elements. And if we run this, we'll get an array with 5 nils. So here you can also specify the value you want. So you can say, you can put whatever value here in here you want, and you'll get an array with 5 values. You can also pass in a block. So I can pass in a block here with this being the index, and I can set the index equal to multiplied by 3. So it'll be each element will be the index multiplied by 3. So the 0th index multiplied by 3, 1 multiplied by 3, 2 multiplied by 3, 3 multiplied by 3, etc. So yeah, you can pass in a block to an array. You can create an array using the brackets. You can also return the size of it. So here we get 5. There are some other aliases you can use, so length is one of them. Okay, so another cool thing that I really enjoy about Ruby is that you can join and get the difference between arrays really easily. So for example, if we have an array 1, 2, 3, and then array B is 4, 5, 6. So actually, let's make this 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So now we have these two arrays, and if we want to combine these arrays, we can set C equal A and B. This will return only the elements that are common in both the arrays. So now if we return C, we get 1, 2. 1, 2 because only 1 and 2 exist within both arrays. If we want to join them and get the elements that exist in both arrays, removing duplicates, we use the single pipe command, and now we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get all the elements. So if you had 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, you'll still get 1, 2, 3. And if you do the AND, you're only going to get 1, 2, 3. So that's something that I think is really cool about Ruby. It's also really easy to manipulate an array. So if you have an array and you want to add some stuff to it, you can just do A and then the double less than sign. So we can push in 5. And so then we return A to string, and we get 1, 2, 3, 5. You can also just use the push command. So you might recognize some of these commands if you've ever programmed in JavaScript or Python. So you have push, and you can also pop from the array. So if we pop, we get the last element. So last equals a pop, and if we return the array, we now have 1, 2. So the last element was removed, and then last stores that last element, which is 3. So you have pop. You can take a certain, so we can add to the end of the array, and we can remove from the end of it. You can also remove from the beginning of it. So first equals a shift. And so now if we return the array, we get 2, 3, and then first will store the first element, which is 1. You can also get rid of certain the sequence at the beginning or at the end of the array. So for example, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we can take the first 3 elements and then return B, and we get 1, 2, 3. So we're taking the first 3 elements of the array. We can do the first 2 elements, and so on. And then if you want to get the last X elements, so if we wanted to get the last, let's just say 2 elements, so we would do drop. So this drops, so this would return the remainder after dropping the first 2 elements. So if we wanted the last elements after getting rid of the first 2, we would do a drop, and now we get 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got these last elements. So yeah, I explained shift, pop. You can also, instead of removing or adding to the end or beginning of an array, you can remove from a specific part. So you can do a delete at the third element, and now we'll return this array, and we get 1, 2, 3. It removed 4, 5, 6. So these are just some basic, a really introductory explanation into some of the functions in Ruby with arrays. So let's actually try and solve this simple challenge, the super increasing challenge. So oops, sorry about that. So basically, we want to determine if every element in the array is larger than the sum of all the previous elements. So this is pretty simple. We'll just write a really simple loop. So we'll write total equals 0, and now we're going to loop through the array being passed in. So let's use 1, 2, 3, 4. Or actually, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. So in this case, 2 is greater than 1, 5 is greater than 2 plus 1, and 10 is greater than 5 plus 2 plus 1. So what we need to do here is, as we're looping through each array, maintain a sum, and then check to make sure each element is greater than the previous sum. So here we can use the each function, which we covered in a previous video on loops. So array each, and then we'll pass in a block, and then we'll take each element. Each element, and now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that each element is greater than the sum before it. So we'll call this sum. So now, if e is less than sum, then we want to return false. We just want to stop the loop because the input is incorrect. But otherwise, if we loop through the whole thing and everything's okay, we can return true. So if we run this, we should get true. But if we change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, we get, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4 should be false. Oh, so within this loop, we want to actually keep updating the sum. So sum plus or equal to e. And now we get false. So basically what's happening here is it starts at the first element. So 1 is not less than 0, so we keep going. 2 is not less than 1, so we keep going. But we add 1 and 2 now. So now we have 3. 3 is not less than the sum, so we return false. So yeah, this is a really simple solution to this challenge. You can also solve this in one line using a reduce or a filter function. Yeah, so in the next video we'll cover hashes in Ruby and how you can do more complex things with that.